The Batman is the, what, 14 billionth new Batman canon they've established in the last few years? This stuff is getting a bit difficult to follow. And because it's a comic book movie that isn't absolutely terrible, everyone has instantly decided that it's the best thing ever. As for myself, I think it's alright. It's kind of like a PG-13 version of Seven with Batman in it. Easily the two best parts of the movie were Paul Dano and Colin Farrell's performances as the Riddler and the Penguin, respectively. And I also quite liked the look of the movie, particularly the way certain scenes were lit. I thought Robert Pattinson was okay as the titular character. I am quite glad that they toned down the cheesy Batman voice from the Christian Bale movies a bit, though in turn this one had narration, some of which could be kind of cringeworthy. There was also a third villain character played by John Turturro, and I don't know whether they were based on some existing Batman villain or if they were created for this, but either way, I found him to be pretty poorly established within the context of this movie. In the first half or so, he was literally in one scene and had maybe 4 or 5 lines, and moving into the second half, there were a couple of reveals where the characters go, "It's that guy is the person responsible for everything!" And we're all just like, who is that guy? Oh, and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman was there. I really do not feel like she had nearly enough to do in the story. There are a few other problems that this movie has, like some scenes with cinematic implications that do not match what is actually happening in the story at that point. I didn't watch any of the trailers before seeing the movie, but it was obvious that a lot of shots were tailor-made to be put in them. And there was also a very bizarre scene where an explosion occurs right in front of Batman's face and throws him across the room, and somehow he escapes completely uninjured. But I'd say the biggest and most consistent problem is that it often tries way too hard to be cool. The most obvious example is the cringeworthy narration that I mentioned earlier, but by far the worst example is the music. Over damn near everything, whether it be narration, or montages of the city, or a crime occurring, or a conversation between two characters, it's just constant bwah, 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 bwah. It's seriously almost the same level you would expect in a parody of something using overbearing music as a crutch. So, overall, I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I would say it's one of the better ones as far as live-action Batman movies go. It's nowhere near as good as The Dark Knight, but I did think it was better than the other two movies in the Nolan trilogy. Also, if the tease for a sequel towards the end is to be believed, it looks like the task of keeping track of all the Batman canons going on right now is only gonna get more confusing.